Okay, now welcome to the Bash Labs. We're going to hit the ground running here and we're going to concentrate on logs. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on getting into a directory that has logs, and then from there we're going to actually practice with a couple of commands to see what we can do with them. So first we're going to do a cd because we're in my own user directory, and we need to go back a little further. So let's see if I got this right here. It's going to be /var logs or log directory and see what it gets us here. There we are. Now if we do a list, we can do a breakdown here. We have alternatives, apt authentications, boot logs. We also have messaging stuff that has to do with the kernel, and also system logs. So we'll just go into each of these and we'll try a different command and see what they do. First one we're going to do is we're going to go into authentication, and we're going to use the cat command, which if you've used it before, you know it's pretty much going to give you a readout of everything that's in the file. So it's cat auth.log. And if I want to go to one of the older logs, they are numbered. So we can go that way if we wanted to. So let's say .2 and see what we get. No such file. But if we actually do the same thing and we back up and we just do log by itself, I'm not in that spot. Take a look and see what I did wrong. Obviously, it's a little bit of a newbie mistake considering I'm no longer in my own user account. I am going to have to use sudo in order to have access to administrative privileges or root privileges or super user privileges, whatever you want to call it. So it's sudo cat, and then we can do auth for authenticate.log, and it's gonna, and there you go. Now if you're wondering, I probably put my password in before, so it still remembers that. And as you can see here, it's basically giving me a readout of every time I do anything that requires a password or requires any kind of authentication. There's a timestamp with the date and what was actually being used or needed authentication for or authorization for. So now let's do a list and we'll check a different log. Let's say we want to go and do sudo less, not 3s's in less. Now we go over to the boot log, and it's a binary file. Do I want to see it anyway? Yes. And here we go. Now you notice it stopped at a certain point. If I want more, if I want to see more, down arrow. And I can continue scrolling. So all this stuff basically going from the grub bootloader until the operating system actually loads to the end of the boot process. Now, what we want to do is here we want to do Control C and see if that gets us out of there. Now that we're out of there, we're going to pick a different log. We're going to move on to dmesg, which does pertain to the kernel. So let's take a look and see what we have here. We're going to go with head, which should show us the very first 10 entries. And sticky keys on the keyboard, don't ask. Let's see. I'm going to go to dmesg and we'll go from there. Let's see. So first 10 entries are already there. It tells you it's like it's loaded up the kernel, and it's telling you which parts it's actually loaded up. And it stops right there at the RAM map or physical memory. Now, If we want to look at something else, we can also do tail, which will show us the last 10 entries. Now, I can look at something else here like the GPU manager and see what's going on with my graphics processor. So we can do tail, and that would be GPU manager.log. And pretty much is what it's giving me here. Considering this is a tablet, it's not holding on to anything very powerful, but it is giving you information. Is it NVIDIA? No. Does it have an Intel graphics processor? Yes, it does. Does it have an AMD? No, it doesn't. Number of cards? Only one. Things like that. Now, if we move on, see what else we have here. We also have, as far as commands go, journalctl, and let me put that together here. So using journalctl, we are going to look into the SSHD. So what that means is going to show us log entries for the SSH service or SSHD service. So let's see where it is. And this is all the information it gives me for it right now. Not very interesting, but it could still be useful information. One of the other things we could do is we can do a find, and we can also do locates. So what if we were back in my original user directory? Well, back at my main user login now. If I didn't know exactly where to look for a log, but I wanted to find as many error logs as possible, or as many logs as possible, I would probably use a locate. So pretty much, let me type this over here. And let's put something in here like locate.log. Let's just shotgun it and see what we get. Can't locate it like that. Okay, fine. Then we do something like locate. Oh, silly me. One of the things I notice is why I can't use locate is because it's not installed. So if we do a sudo as now that it's done, let's go with it here. So let's do okay, error.log, see what we find. And it's still not found. Probably because I'm not in the correct directory. Okay, it looks like this day's catching up with me. So I've already done the mlocate, and I've already tried doing the locate error log or looking through the directories. I'm still coming up wrong. I even tried using finds. At this point, I'm going to have to play around with this, but we've already covered going into the var logs directory, finding these different logs to look into. We've used head, tail, cat, less, and also journalctl in order to be able to peek inside of these things in order to get some information. I hope this has been useful for you, and if anybody can actually crack this code, it's probably me just being tired and just not typing the correct thing or the correct order. I'll figure that out later on those locates and finds, and I'll probably post on that later so that way I don't forget my mess ups. Uh, Until then, have a good day, good night, enjoy life. Bye.